Hi guys, it's Ray here and welcome to week 2 of the J4K goalkeeping 30-day challenge on how to become bulletproof as a goalkeeper and how to become mentally strong. So what I'm going to be talking about in this video is something really common and something that is inevitably going to happen for us goalkeepers, is that we're going to make a mistake in a game that's going to cost us the game. And with a lot of goalkeepers, and it happened to me as well, and it's only natural, what happens with a lot of goalkeepers when you make a mistake in the game, not only does the whole game fall apart for the remainder of the game, it might affect them for 2 or 3 games afterwards as well. So I'm going to give you some tips in this challenge to help you get over obviously that when you do inevitably make a mistake in a game. So the first thing I want you to realize is that when you make a mistake in a game, it's not the end of the world, okay? Don't worry about it. You're only learning your trade. It doesn't matter if you're a young goalkeeper, even international goalkeepers make mistakes, okay? So the first thing you got to do is don't beat yourself up. It's just part and parcel of obviously, learning to develop to become a goalkeeper. Now, one of the things that you can do as a goalkeeper, or if you're a parent of a goalkeeper, please do this with your goalkeeping child, is as the season goes on, obviously, highlight all the saves you make, all the penalty saves you make, but highlight how many mistakes that you make that's blatantly your fault, that's cost a goal. And then it might be like, to start off with, as a young goalkeeper, it might be like 1 in every 5 games or 10 games. But as you get older as a goalkeeper and better as a goalkeeper, what you'll find each season, the mistakes that you make will be like 1 in every 10 games, 1 in every 15 games, 1 in every 20 games. Now, I know professional goalkeepers do that as well. Most professional goalkeepers will know is that they'll make a mistake every like 39.8 games. And it's super important, because I'll come back to that in a moment, why you should know that statistic, okay? And again, so it's super important. So that's something that you should start doing now, is just literally just make a highlight, a tick, when it's a mistake that's blatantly your fault, okay? And just put it down 1 in every 5 games. And if it's 1 in every 5 games to start off with, don't worry about it, because what I'm going to teach you now, it'll go to 1 in 6 games, 1 in 10 games, 1 in 20 games. And the older you become, the more you work on your goalkeeping. I promise you, it'll get further and further and further away, okay? But it's important to know that statistic, but I'll come back to that in a moment. So the other thing I want you to develop as well, when you make a mistake in a game, okay, I want you to do something what's called a trigger point, okay? Now, what a trigger point is you do something to yourself. Sounds a bit weird, okay? But you're going to do something to yourself that will remind you that you are a good goalkeeper, and then and then also as well, you're not going to make a mistake for the next 10 games, like what I've just explained about the statistics, okay? So what a trigger point is, by the way, and I promise you, every professional goalkeeper does this. And as I explain what a trigger point is, when you watch your favourite goalkeeper play and they make a mistake, they will do something time and time again. You go, oh, that's their trigger point, okay? So for example, what a trigger point is that you're doing something to remind yourself that you're a good goalkeeper. Now, some goalkeepers, what they'll do is they'll take the glove off, the wrist strap, they'll take the wrist strap off, fix the glove, put it back on again, and they'll only do it with 1 glove, okay? Yeah, some will do it with 2, but you'll notice they'll always do it with 1 or 2. You might see some goalkeepers will give themselves a little slap. I used to do that. Some goalkeepers might actually walk over to the goal with the studs on the post, bang. So they walk over to the goal with the back against the post, and they'll bang the studs on the goal. You've probably seen a lot of goalkeepers do that, and you're probably thinking, well, why are you doing that? You're on AstroTurf. That's a trigger point, okay? So what a trigger point is you're just reminding yourself that you're a good goalkeeper, okay? Yeah. So the first thing is as well, so going back to what I said before about have the statistics in place, okay, yeah, about knowing when you're going to make the next mistake. So what a trigger point is, so let's say, for example, statistically that you're going to make a mistake 1 in every 15 games, okay? So if you make a mistake and you do that trigger point reminds you, right, okay, great news. So it mentally it changes from going, oh no, I've made a mistake, oh I'm going to have a bad game, because that's what most goalkeepers do. I used to do that even as a professional goalkeeper, because when I played, there was no one around to teach us obviously the importance of the mindset. It just didn't exist. We were just literally yelled at when we played. Obviously, in this day and age, all professional players have got all the technology and everything needed, obviously, to help them with the mental side of things. So anyway, going back to the fact, let's say, for example, you're trigger point is to maybe bang your chest, okay? Bang your chest, and what you think. So what you're doing there by banging your chest, you're waking yourself up. So rather than letting a goal in and going, oh no, sorry guys, put your heads up, again, look at your, to digress, look at your favourite professional goalkeeper. When they make a mistake, it's very, very rare you'll see them going, sorry. When you look at them, it looks as if like they're not bothered, and they'll do some type of trigger point. So let's say that's their trigger point. They've made a mistake and they'll go, and then you look at them, you think, they don't even look as if they're bothered. And then obviously they are gutted that they've made a mistake, okay, but they're not, to be honest with you, because they go, right, cool. Because if they know that they're only going to make a mistake every 15 games, so rather than going, oh no, and I'm going to make a mistake, I'm going to have a bad game, they go, boom, trigger point. Oh, okay, great news. I'm not going to make a mistake for another 15 games now. So can you see how you turn your mindset in an instant with a trigger point from making a mistake to go, oh no, I'm sorry, to going, okay, well that's good, okay, cool, that's out the way. I'm not going to make a mistake for another 15 games. So that's super important, okay, yeah, you do that. Also, you might see, so that's the first thing why you use the trigger points. Also as well, another thing as well is when you make a great save, or you could have a great kick, you could go for a great cross, you can make a penalty save. When you do something good in a game, honestly, please always do this, okay? Again, obviously make sure the ball is nowhere near you when you do it, okay? Yeah. So let's say you've made an unbelievable top corner save and the whole place is clapping, you feel 1,000 foot tall. As soon as you throw the ball out, go, trigger point. In training session, you do something fantastic and you feel fantastic and the people are clapping. As soon as the ball's away from you, trigger point, if that's your trigger point, okay? So when you do something good, so every time you do something good, you just go, oh, there, okay? And what that does as well is when you're playing in a game situation and you've made a mistake, when you do that trigger point, first of all, it's telling you, I'm not going to make a mistake for 15 games now. Then again, when you do that as well, straight away, your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, as soon as you do that, all the good feelings will come to you, okay? About all the penalty saves you make, the back passes you've done, the top corner saves you've done, the bottom corner saves you've done, where you've dived at the centre forward's feet and you felt fantastic. So again, can you understand what we're trying to do is literally snap our minds out of, when we make a mistake as a goalkeeper. Again, unfortunately, because we're not taught this by anyone, okay, yeah, when we make a mistake and everyone's, it isn't only natural to put your, hands on your hips, head down, starting to apologise to everybody, thinking, I've made a mistake, I'll look embarrassing, and then that affects the rest of your game, okay, yeah. And think about how many times have you seen a goalkeeper, or have you done it yourself, where you've made a mistake and you've gone on to have a terrible game? Because what happens then is when you start apologising and put your head down, you're programming yourself and your mind to have a bad game, because you're thinking about, I don't want to make that mistake again, and your mind is really, really weird, because when you say, I don't want to make a mistake, all your mind's hearing is mistake. You're over in your head, you're going through, if the ball went through your legs, for example, from 500 yards, in the game, you're visualising that ball going through your legs all the time. You can't do that, and that's what most goalkeepers do. Again, think about this for the moment. How many times have you watched your favourite professional goalkeeper, or any goalkeeper on TV, any professional goalkeeper, when they make a mistake in a game, they go on to have a fantastic game, and they go pull off a load of saves, and sometimes get man of the match. Okay, how many times you've seen that? A lot of the time, because what they don't do is professional. Okay, now they've been taught this, okay, yeah, this is what we're doing here with J4K to help you to get this. So obviously to understand this, sorry. So what happens with professional goalkeepers is when they make a mistake, boom, trigger point. So the shock in the mind, the way